All right, mate, we're live. We're on.
G'day, team. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Welcome to Axon's Christmas version. Fuck me, you get it right. Christmas version of our live Q&As. Naughty and nice. Let's have a bit of a play with this. You can tell me what's worked out for you. Let's go nice. There we go. Fucking Santa Claus, you prick. You've even got my bloody, my trusty beret normally sits up there behind me, but it's been taken over by Santa Claus. So as we enter the festive season, I hope you guys have a very safe and Merry Christmas, but let's do some Q&A in the meantime. Daniel, hit me.
Right, okay, first up we have fixed rates seem to be coming down again. Should people be locking in now or sticking with variable?
So interest rates you mean are coming down a bit. So yeah. Look, there's a lot to be said about, here's when, a lot to be said about interest rates, I should say. And certainly there was a broad sentiment about what would occur with interest rates between now and the end of the year. And most financial experts out there, not me, I'm just a punter, but most people out there, December, I believe, which is the final chance where the RBA sits. So that's our sort of last chip on the table to allow that to occur, yes or no. But I guess now there's a bit of a change of tune where maybe it might not be till April, May next year where another interest rate might come our way. So what does that mean? We've had 3 interest rate reductions for this year, which has been fantastic. And when you want to be able to go into a fixed rate, it just means that you effectively you hedge your bets and go, right, I'm now going to bet it that's going to remain at a certain rate for the next 1, 2, 3 years. So the market movement is eradicated from you when you're on a fixed rate. But of course, in most instances, that means you may not be able to have an offset account working on your loan. But if you run the gauntlet and you're happy to sort of do the rock and roll and the broad direction of what the interest rates are going to be, you can, when a variable home loan, then you can have your interest rate working for you as well. So speak to your finance broker, see whatever circumstances are going to be right for you. But yeah, let's all hope that the rates come down a little bit more, sit consistent for that, hopefully for the next 10 years, pending another little mini COVID-19 that comes along. Hopefully not.
No more global pandemics, please.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, next one. So this is a bloke who said, with recent changes to property share mortgages, am I able to buy a house with my first cousin? Now, I know there's been changes that allow brothers and sisters to buy, and so I thought I'd throw this one in here for us because I wasn't sure of the answer.
This is live TV, right? I do not know these questions that are coming in. At the end of the day, 2 individuals can get together and buy a house as long as there is mutual benefit for that. I.e., if your cousin is not going to live in the house that you're trying to buy as your own home, then there's no mutual benefit to that cousin, third party, whatever it is. Even your mum and dad can't help you buy your own home because they're already living in their own home. So the whole mutual benefit test is certainly something I would speak to your finance broker about. But I'm not tracking as far as like the whole family thing goes. So I don't know how close the family or how far away the family member needs to be to sort of classify for some sort of family joint purchase. So, yeah, I'll have to take that one on notice.
Sure. Yep. Okay, next one up. I've got a posting coming up, but don't know where yet. How do you plan property moves when Defence gives you so little notice?
Yeah, well, hopefully you've got some sort of posting order in your hot little hand so far. But for those that are waiting on some short notice postings, that's okay. I'll tell you what, it's pretty simple. This is option A and option B planning. So what you should do, sit with someone who you can sort of generate some sort of relationship with and just map it all out. If option A happens and we get posted to position X, is that going to be the right time to maybe look at pulling the trigger on your ADF housing entitlements? HPAS, DOHAS, first home owners grant, DOHAS lump sum, whatever it's going to be. Or a good place to pull the trigger on your ADF housing entitlements, we've got some cash set aside, let's go and buy an investment property instead. What does that look like? So yeah, just, I'm happy to roll with the diversity and the sort of dynamic nature of what your changing circumstances are. But as long as you've got some sort of plan together, then you'll get clarity and shelf and go.
How does that affect investors or people buying their first home?
Mate, insurance premiums have gone up not just for houses, for bloody everything, cars and the like, just the cost of living in general, right? What was the question again about how does it affect?
How does it affect investors?
I'll go back. Let's do the investment stuff first. When you buy an investment property, you need to be able to have 2 forms of insurance. The building insurance, that's with the house, like the oven, the range hood, the aircon, the solar system, the carpets, blinds, all that sort of stuff, full turnkey property. The tenant's got their own insurance in place for their own contents insurance, whatever that looks like, depending on the value of the home and how extensive you want your landlord's policy to be. But when you're living in your own home, you don't need landlord's insurance because you're living in the house. So now you've only got to have your building insurance policy in place, and that might be only $2,500, for instance. So yeah, certainly it will affect your cash flow whether you're buying an investment property with the two types of insurance or living in your own home as the single amount of insurance. But when you look at the overall cash flow of things, with an investment property, the tenant and the tax return are paying the majority of the mortgage and the cost with a small top up from you, even if you had to pay an extra $1,000 a year for your landlord's insurance. But when you're living in your own home, you get no tax breaks and you're paying 100% of the mortgage and all the costs, even though your insurance is a little bit lower. So again, it's horses for courses. I hate to say I'm not a it depends sort of guy, but it sort of does depend on what it is you're trying to achieve. And by fuck, if you're paying your own mortgage and all the expenses with no tax breaks, you want to make sure that property's going up in value. Otherwise, you're stuck in the 30-year mortgage trap and you're going backwards. And that means a few bucks here or there with your insurances means fuck all in the long run. So yeah, just be smart about what it is you're trying to achieve. I hope that helps. I hope that come across somewhat clear. I'm literally doing this off the cuff, which I love.
Great answer.
Cool.
I was actually going to say something.
Okay, let's do another spin. We're still being nice. Fuck, that's unusual. Oh, I said, is this going to spin a bit more? And now I just fucking broke it. Anyway, nothing's Robbie proof.
Yeah, that's live. That's what.
For those that know me, they're like, this motherfucker hasn't changed one little bit, and nor shall I. Anyway,
great. All right, my parents said they'd help me by using some of their equity. How does that actually work?
And they had a bunch of questions for us. So this is called the Bank of Mum and Dad. So you've got the big four banks, maybe Macquarie's there, but let's call it the big five banks, but a really, really active lender in the property space over the last many years now, probably 7 or 8 years, has been called equity that parents have got in their property that can be utilised or accessed by kids to be able to then have as their deposit and cost to get into the market sooner. Because here's the position that young Kobe was in, right? He's like, I've got 30 grand saved. I'm on 90 grand a year. I'm living in, my cost of living super low. I'm saving 2 and a bit grand a month, but I'm still 3 years away from having 80, 90 grand saved for my deposit and cost for an investment. Then if it was the $600,000 property that he's trying to buy right now, that ain't worth $600,000 in 3 years' time if you bought in the same area. So he's chasing something which is moving away from him at the same time. Now he's got to have extra money saved. It's going to be longer to get into the market. You know, literally like it's just fighting an uphill battle then. I used to say pissing in the wind, but I don't say that stuff anymore. Lucky I didn't, hey. But of course, if you can get access from some equity that's in your family, scenario somewhere, either your parents' own home or ideally an investment property, so it reduces the risk on the roof that's over your parents' house, you can get into the market so much sooner. So we've actually got a little case study. That's just like a generic summary. We've got a little case study that I explain in our training videos on our webpage. Go to there, and I think it's like case study number 6 or 5 or 6, and just get smart about the Bank of Mum and Dad. But the reality is that you get into the market so much sooner. Because at the end of the day, if you're sitting on the fence trying to get into the market and you're not in the market, you ain't receiving any benefit from it. So yeah, I hope that helps as well. What else you got? I thought you were going to give me some curly ones today.
Last one.
Right.
Last one. I don't know if this is a curly one. When it comes to using HPAS, what happens if you fail to occupy the property as required? Do you need to repay HPAS?
Ooh. Well, my understanding, so first and foremost, I'm not the policymaker on this. My understanding is, so I'll go back. When you apply for HPAS, there's certain criteria. You've got to be able to be posting a property that you're going to live in your current posting location, or if you've got a posting order in your hot little hand that I spoke about before in your future posting locations, that's okay. Don't try and get ahead of the curve too much there, because you don't have your posting order that comes in, you'll be up shit creek with no paddle. You've got to be able to have 12 months tenure remaining in your current location. So it's important that you don't do it at the end of the period there. You've got to still have that 12-month retention in place. And then, of course, you go ahead and do that, and you say you got another 2 years, which is the intention of when you got paid your HPAS. My understanding is if Defence changes their mind due to Defence service reasons, and you then get your current posting cut short and they move you off somewhere else, that could be grounds for you to be able to put a submission in to say, what do I need to repay my HPAS? In good faith, I then applied for it. I was eligible at that time. You changed your mind. Why do I have to change it back? Get someone else smarter than me to put a nice little submission to the Director of Entitlements that don't say those exact words, but you get the sentiment. I don't believe that one should be reliable to repay an entitlement when they qualified for it properly in the first place. But speak to your chain of command for further advice. Hope that sort of helps anyway from a broad overall standing on things.
Awesome. Okay, that's it, mate. That
Righto.
was